Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. In comparison day, two greenish inks we've got from Pilot, Iroshizuku Shin-Ryoku, and from Colorverse, part of the Color Vent, here we've got Aquarius Whispers. Join me now, down on the table, we'll take a look at the swatch cards, chromatography, we'll do some writing, we'll look at some previous writing on Tomoe river paper, then I'll give you my thoughts on these inks. Welcome down to the table. So here we've got today's inks. We've got the Pilot Iroshizuku Shin-Ryoku, and I'm having to hold the bottle because it's a really interesting shape, but it rolls. So we've got their Colorverse Aquarius Whispers. Two inks sort of in the green family, so I thought, yeah, let's look at this. We also had a request from a viewer to compare them. So let's move these out of the way and then we'll fetch in the swatch cards. So we've got the Aquarius Whispers on the top and the Iroshizuku on the bottom. Looking at these, the Iroshizuku, that's more of a darker green, like forest green. I think Shin-Ryoku translates to something like forest green. I don't speak Japanese, so that's just something I found on the internet. Really nice. It's a good standard nice green. It does have a bit of a place in my heart. It was the first ink I bought when I got back into fountain pens. The Aquarius Whispers, so that was part of the Color Vent of 2024. Here we've got a paler looking ink, and to me it's got, I like to think of it like a spearminty type colour. So we've got that spearmint colour, and I'm thinking, yeah, this is really nice as well. It's quite interesting. Looking over at the swatch, there we go. Here's the chromatography. We were looking at the swatches, weren't we? So we've got Shin-Ryoku on the left. We've got the Aquarius Whispers on the right. Very different in terms of their chromatography. So the Shin-Ryoku, we've got a lot of blue. As we're going up, we then get yellow coming in. So that's where we're getting that green. And just visible at the top, and see a very thin line where it looks like a pale brown. With the Colorverse Aquarius Whispers, so we start a very thin line there of pale blue, then we're getting straight into greens. Then as we go up, we then hit back into the blues. Let's move these out of the way and we'll fetch in the notepad of testing. This is the bit which I always like. Let's see what they look like when we're writing. So here's my paper. This is Rhodia. It's a plain notepad and it's A5 in size. My tool of testing is my Serendipity dip pen with a broad Yoho nib on it. We're going to start with the Aquarius Whispers. So as usual, I'm going to dip the nib. Then I scribble off some of the excess on some scrap paper. Then I'll come over and do our writing sample. So here we've got Colorverse Aquarius Whispers. The pen, this is a The price for this ink is very difficult to work out because they don't sell it as a separate bottle. It came as part of that Color Vent. So what I've done is I've taken the cost of the Color Vent, divided it by 24. That gives me a cost per bottle that was in it. So that works out at $12.50, and that's for a 15 milliliter bottle, which when you work it through comes out at 83 cents per milliliter. Then I just write a sentence. There, we've run out. Let me just re-dip it. I haven't even scribbled off this time. Then and we're out of ink again. So I've just cleaned off the nib. Let's move this up. And now we'll write with Shin-Ryoku. So following the same practice, dip it in, give it a good drink, scribble off any excess. So here we've got Pilot Iroshizuku Shin-Ryoku. And again, that Serendipity dip pen. The price for this is 30 Aussie dollars, and that's for a 50 milliliter bottle. That equates to 60 cents per milliliter. Let's write the sentence. Then the scribble. So that one lasted an awful lot longer, didn't it? I'm going to move this over to one side to dry, and whilst it's drying, I'm going to fetch in my Tomoe River notepad. Just dropping in to interrupt your regular programming. Would you like to help support the channel? If so, please consider joining as a member. As a member, you'll get early access to my videos. I normally upload them a couple of days before they go out, and as soon as they're uploaded, they'll be released to members. There'll also be a shout out at the end of the videos, and then as we get the members coming in, we'll actually chat among ourselves and work out what other perks, what other things you'd like me to add in. You know, would you like maybe a monthly live chat just for members? All down to us. So please, if you can, consider joining the channel. A link will be in the description down below. So here's my Galen Leather A5 notepad. This has got 52 GSM Tomoe River, and it's the old Tomoe River. Yes, I've had this notepad quite a while. So we're going to start here by looking at the writing with the Shin-Ryoku this time. The writing in both of these I've done using the same pen. So this is a Moonman M800, but what I've done is it's not the nib that comes with it. I've got in here a Goulet broad nib, but we're still doing the same pen and the same nib. So here we are with the Shin-Ryoku. Looks really nice and green, doesn't it? I like the way this looks. It performs really well. It's an ink. If I've got a pen that I'm struggling with, I often reach for this ink because I find it flows really well. Now I'm going to jump back here. This is the M800 with the Aquarius Whispers. Again, I'm calling out here about the spearminty colour. It looks a bit paler on here than it does when I was doing my writing sample. This is the reason I like to use this Tomoe River notepad, which means I've got the same paper, I use the same pen, so the only difference is the ink, and you do get a better representation of what it looks like. If we're going like this, if I can get them both on there, we can see, yes, that Shin-Ryoku, definitely the darker colour, but of the two, I really do like this Aquarius Whispers. It just calls to me. It's got that little bit more visual interest. It's not a standardish type colour. Let's move this back out of the way and fetch in the original writing sample. Here we've got the original writing sample. Both of them nice. I quite like both of them. As I said earlier, to me the Aquarius Whispers, because it's not like a standard green, it's got a little bit more of a visual interest to me. And that's one of the things I like with my pens and my inks, is not just the information that I'm conveying with it, but also the visual interest. And I do think the Aquarius Whispers does draw the eye. With the Shin-Ryoku, again, it's an ink I like. As I've already said, it was the first ink I bought when I got back into fountain pens. It's a really nice standard green. I don't use it that often, but the main thing I do use it for are pens where I've been having some problems. I think it's a really good troubleshooting ink. And when it's in those pens, I love the way it writes and I love the colour. So they're my very quick thoughts on Colorverse Aquarius Whispers and Pilot Iroshizuku Shin-Ryoku. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. So what are your thoughts on these inks? Which one do you prefer? The Shin-Ryoku got a place in my heart. It was the first ink I bought when I got back into fountain pens, but I do quite like the tones here with the Aquarius Whispers. So it's quite an interesting one. Please drop your comments, your thoughts down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.